Hey everybody, and welcome to this exciting course on C Sharp. We are learning C Sharp step by step. We have started learning collections in C Sharp. In the last couple of lectures, we have been discussing collections. We learned to create and code one-dimensional array, and in the last lecture, we learned to loop through a one-dimensional array. I told you in the last lecture the best loop to apply on one-dimensional or multi-dimensional collection is for loop, and this is because of the for loops control statements. So because of the control statements, we don't need to create an extra variable to go through all the index values. So for loop is always a best choice to loop through an array. But you remember there was another loop on our loop list, and we waited for that because the loop works together with the collections like one dimensional array. And what was the name of the loop? If you remember that, that was for each loop. And I told you we would cover that loop once we start learning the collections. So as now we have starting learning the collections, we know how to create one dimensional array. So I think this is the best time to cover for each loop. So our topic is still collections in C sharp and one dimensional array, but at the same time, we are going to cover for each loop. For each loop works together with the collections, and I have told you several times. But now you will see each and everything in action. We will learn the for each loop in comparison with the for loop. And I think this is the best way to develop a good understanding. So let's learn to code the for each loop on the collections. We have two collections, one dimension array, which we created in our previous lecture. The first array is an integer array, and the name of the array is numbers. And the second array is a string array, and the name of the array is name. Numbers array has 8 component, and name array has 5 components. Now let's say I simply start with a for loop. I create a for loop that goes 10 rounds like this. So this for loop is actually a standalone loop. It can be used together with the collections or separately. This loop will simply go 10 repetitions, and we can do whatever we want inside this loop. We don't always need to loop through array using the for loop. It can also have different uses. But for each loop is not standalone. For each loop is always applied on the collections. So let's code a for each loop now and learn the syntax. The syntax of the for each loop is very interesting. I'm going to apply the for each loop on numbers array, and we loop through all the components one by one. For each has its own reserved word, which is for each, and right after the reserved word, we open two parentheses, a small parenthesis as usual, and then the loop has its own body. Now inside the parenthesis, we code a single statement. As I am trying to loop through an integer type array, so I will start by creating a variable. Let's say the name of the variable is value, and then I will put a space and then another reserved word, which is in. And after in, I will provide the name of the array or the collection I wanna loop through. So this is the syntax of the for each loop: a local variable, in, and the name of the collection. The best thing with the for each loop is you don't need to specify the number of repetitions or the size of the array. But in case of the for loop, we specify the size of the array. For example, if I want to use or apply this for loop on the numbers array, so I will simply called the length property on it. So in the for loop, we plan everything. We plan the index values, such as here, the index goes from 0 to 7 because the length of the array is 8. However, in for each loop, we don't need to think about the index value. Loop gonna take care of that. Let's move on. Now the question is, how does this for each loop execute? The execution of the for each loop is very simple. At this time, we are trying to loop through an array which has 8 components. That means this loop will automatically generate 8 rounds or repetitions, and it starts the repetition from the first component of the array, which is number 10. So what will happen in the background? In the first repetition, the for each loop took the 10 from the numbers array and assign it to the this local variable. In the second round, for each loop, pick number 20 from the numbers array and then assign it to the local variable value. The loop will continue this way until the last value. That means the value in this local variable is updated in each round. And we can confirm it just by putting this variable in the console. As I run the program, you can guess you will see all these values in the console. Because in the first round, the for each loop will store number 10 in the variable and then repeat its body. In the second round, for each loop will place number 20 in this variable and then repeat its body. So the value in the local variable is updated in each round, and inside the loop, we have access to that variable. So let's run the program and check the output. And so you see the output in the console. We have successfully looped through one dimensional array with the help of the for each loop. So that was the for each loop, simple and elegant. Now let's say I wanna loop through this string array. So here I wanna put the name of the array, and now the data type of this array is string. So I need to change the data type here from integer to string. We can also change the name of the variable, let's say, and then we can print the variable num in the console. Right? The same thing will happen here, but this time for each loop will go 5 rounds because we have 5 components in the array. And in the first round, the name Peter is assigned to the num variable. And in the second round, the name Sarah is assigned to the num variable. And it will go exactly like this up to the last name. So let's run the program, check the output. And after that, I will tell you when to use and not to use for each loop. And so here you see all the names are printed in the console. Now, let's discuss when do we use for each loop. For each loop is only used for the read operations. Read operations simply means when you want to read out or print out the data that you have in your collections. Just like we do here, we are only reading out the names from the name array. We cannot perform write operations using the for each loop because in for each loop we don't have access to the index values. Index values are used in for loop. So here we can perform write operation as well as read operation. For example, as we coded in the previous lecture, we can manipulate or change these values, such as we can add number 5 to each value and then save the value to the same index. So this operation is actually the write operation because we are changing or updating the values. And this operation becomes possible because we have access to the index values. This same operation can't be performed using the for each loop. So that was the main difference between for and for each loop. For each loop is mainly for reading out the values. So just remember this difference. So my friends, that was all about for each loop. Now we have covered all the loops that we have in C Sharp, while, do, while, for, and for each. At the same time, we are done with the one-dimensional array. In the next lecture, we will learn to code two-dimensional array. I will see you there. Thanks for watching and take care of you.